Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Fox Business just called them fantastic numbers. And guys, they're not exaggerating. While the fake news media desperately hunts for any scrap of bad news to pin on President Trump, the actual economic data just dropped, and it's another win for the America First agenda. Inflation, it's cooling off, and workers are keeping more of their paychecks. And the global elites who've been ripping off American industry for decades, they're about to get a rude awakening. The establishment told us Trump's policies would crash the America, and they lied. Again. So what's really happening while the corporate press looks the other way? We're about to find out. But here's what this means for you, the hardworking American who's been squeezed for too long. Under the disaster that was the Biden administration, you watched your grocery bill skyrocket. You saw your paycheck shrink while Washington bureaucrats got richer. You felt the pain of 40-year high inflation while the elites told you everything was fine. Don't worry about inflation. It's not real. That's a made-up thing. That's a made-up thing in college. Don't worry about it. That nightmare, it's over. The latest PCE inflation data shows prices cooling to levels we haven't seen since before Biden wrecked our economy. That means your dollar is going further, your savings account isn't bleeding value every single month, but here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. This isn't an accident. This is the direct result of President Trump slashing regulations, unleashing American energy, and putting workers first. The working families tax cuts are putting thousands of dollars back in your pocket. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, expanded child tax credits, and while the Democrats are busy investigating Trump for the umpteenth billionth time, his administration is taking on foreign governments that have been cheating American workers for decades. And speaking of protecting American interests, there's a national security story developing right now that the legacy media is completely ignoring. And we are tracking a developing story out of Washington, one the legacy media does not want you to see. As Iran destabilizes the Middle East, the federal government just made a move that could reshape America's security posture. And here's the truth. Our nuclear subs, our warheads, and our next generation of power grid, all of it depends on uranium. And we import almost every single pound of it. This is not about energy independence. This is about survival. Because a nation that can't power its own military does not control its own destiny. That's why I want you to look at atomic minerals trading at ATMMF in the US and ATOM in Canada. They're positioned in America's uranium future, and smart investors are paying attention. And when national security investment opportunities align, that's worth the research. Because true American strength starts with controlling our own critical resources. Now let's get back to the economic victories that the establishment doesn't want you to celebrate. But the economic wins don't stop with cooling inflation. Here's what really got the globalists sweating. The Trump administration isn't just fixing the damage at home. They're going on offense against the foreign governments that have been robbing American workers blind. And Ambassador Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, just announced they're moving at warp speed on Section 301 investigations. They're targeting countries using forced labor on unfair subsidies. That's a lot of the other parts of the world. They're not waiting years like the swamp usually does. They're moving in months or weeks. The message to China and every other bad actor is crystal clear. Let's get into it. So from Rapid Response 47, we've got SBA Kelly in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. The working families tax cut means no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It's thousands of dollars back in your pocket this year and for years to come. It's expanded child tax credit, expanded health savings account, and thousands of dollars, all thanks to our president.
After 4 disastrous years, that turnaround is well underway. And yes, there is much more work to do, but we're making fast progress for you. We've cut Biden's massive inflation and high interest rates to 5-year lows. We're eliminating trillions of dollars of bureaucratic red tape that crushed our job creators. And we're restoring drill, baby, drill to make us energy dominant again. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say clean, beautiful coal. So we are bringing back Made in America. That's what made us a great nation of builders. It's going to make us a great nation of builders again. Now, the mainstream media and the liberal elites said that it couldn't be done, that we should just simply manage America's decline. Well, they were dead wrong, because all we needed was a new president. Now, you know what the working family tax cuts means. You know that it's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. It's thousands of dollars back in your pocket this year and for years to come. It's expanded child tax credits, expanded health savings account, $1,000 Trump accounts for children. It's the 20% pass-through deduction for small businesses. It's the immediate expensing that is rocket fuel for Main Street. And in fact, this is the most Main Street bill in American history. But yet, every single Democrat in Congress voted against it, which means when you get your tax refunds this year, you will not be thanking Don Davis, but you can thank President Trump, Vice President Vance, and congressional Republicans for that. So now, look. President Trump and Vice President Vance, they didn't break it, but they're trying to fix it and they're working quickly. And they're fighting for you. Not for Green New Deal radicals, not for illegal aliens, not for big government spending or fraudsters stealing your tax dollars, but for workers, for veterans, for hardworking families like yours who make our nation strong. We are working every day to make this country great again.
I will say the president is absolutely trying to build the nation from the middle out. The other administrations, they wanted to do the top trickle-down thing. Trump's doing a grow it from the middle, trickle down from the top, and then help raise the bottom back up to the middle. They're attacking this at every single way that they can. They're even going after housing pricing because there's 30 million people in this country that shouldn't be here. Of course, prices are going to go through the roof. They've stopped BlackRock from buying houses, meaning that the rent's not going to get jacked through the ceiling. They're doing a lot of things that don't even make the news. They're doing this to help Democrats, Republicans. They're helping Americans. And that's what's so great about the administration. The left does not give them enough credit for what they're doing for every single American in every single income bracket that exists. So with groundbreaking tax cuts putting more money in Americans' pockets, let's turn to the quick moves on the international front as Ambassador Greer addresses how the U.S. is tackling unfair global trading policies. So we have Ambassador Greer on USTR launched Section 301 investigations. We're moving very quickly. We're moving in a matter of months, and with that, we can try to resolve some issues that have been plaguing global trading systems for many years, including child mining in other countries for lithium and other things for batteries. Let's see.
Section 3 program, these are the types of investigations that USTR, my agency, has done in the past. They're very process-driven, they're transparent, there's an opportunity for hearing, for public comment, and then we typically produce some findings. It could be in the form of a report or otherwise. And if we find that countries have been involved in unfair trading practices like subsidies, excess capacity, allowing goods made with forced labor into their countries, we can quantify that harm to U.S. commerce and then try to resolve that issue with the country. If they can't resolve it or don't resolve it sufficiently, you can impose a tariff or fee or something like that. We're trying to move very quickly to your question. We're trying to move in a matter of months. And with that, we can try to resolve some of these issues that have been plaguing the global trading system for many years, and we're finally trying to solve.
And that's one thing that the Democrats don't like about Trump administration. They don't want us going after China, and we don't want us going after Zimbabwe and other countries that are using kids to build things. What about the sweatshops where Nike shoes come from and your cell phones that are being reshored to American factories? Well, we know for a fact when that happens, now there's not going to be any child labor or slave labor or other things that do exist in this world. The Democrats don't want you to think that way. They just want you to have cheap products. They don't care where it comes from. The Green New Deal, they wanted battery plants and solar energy all across the country. But guess who mines the lithium that goes into it? 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds over in Zimbabwe and other countries. Those are the ones mining it. And Democrats were willing to turn a blind eye to that. In the meantime, we're not doing that. The Trump administration is saying, if you're using kids to mine this stuff, you're out of here. We don't want that. Because that's child labor, and that's wrong. So while Ambassador Greer speeds up efforts to protect U.S. commerce from foreign foul play, new data shows President Trump is surpassing expectations by keeping inflation low, delivering solid economic results. We got RNC research. President Trump continues to beat expectations, keeping inflation low. Let's see.
So up 0.4% is spending. We're expecting up 0.3. That's a nice number. If we look at real spending accounting for inflation, it's up 0.1%. And here we get into the inflation metrics. Month over month, headline PCE up 0.3 as expected. Cooler than the rearview mirror, which was up 0.4. That would be the coolest since November of last year. If we take a year over year perspective, it comes in at 2.8. 1/10 cooler in both directions, backwards and forwards. 2.8 equals November. October last year, 2.7. Now let's go month over month. Core, maybe more important, especially considering the news of the day and how that news may filter through over the next several months. Up 0.4 as expected on a month over month. Core PCE, if we look at year over year, comes in at 3.1 as expected.
3.1 down from almost 9% underneath the Biden administration. They did nothing to help cool the inflation. Well, we got absolutely rocketed. Remember when Karine Jean-Pierre, the Biden's press secretary, inflation's a made-up term. It's not really relevant nowadays because it was bad for them. And now that Trump's in, inflation, inflation, inflation. But they want us to forget. They think we're stupid. They think that you, the American people, are stupid to forget all the lies and half-truths and misinformation that they put out for years. And now they want to bring it all back and make it all relevant talking points. But Trump's brought it down from almost 9 points, real inflation numbers, down to 2.1% presently. That's incredible. And the feds have cut rates on mortgages, and he's getting to cap interest rates on credit cards to 10%, from 32% down to 10%. It's incredible what Trump's doing for all income brackets. And as we witness President Trump defying the odds with low inflation, let's explore more fantastic economic numbers where Fox Business highlights how Trump leadership fuels an economic resurgence. Let's see here.
If we find that countries have been involved in unfair trading practices like subsidies, excess capacity, allowing goods made with forced labor into their countries, we can quantify that harm to U.S. commerce and then try to resolve that issue with the country. If they can't resolve it or don't resolve it sufficiently, you can impose a tariff or fee.
That means we're just getting rid of them all. Who cares? If they're not playing the ball the way we want them to, then they're going to be out of here. We've got the economy is back under President Trump. Marie Botraromo, she's killing it. Let's see.
Let's recap these numbers, which at first glance to me look like fantastic numbers. Bottom line, okay? PCE is up 0.3% versus an estimate of 0.3%. Core PCE up 0.4% versus an estimate of 0.4%. That is right in line with expectations. On a year-over-year basis, it's better than expected. PCE is up 2.8% versus an estimate of 2.9%. That's lower than the expectations.
And all of this is happening while we're taking out Maduro out of Venezuela. Cuba's about to flip over from communism to America, from socialism and communism over to being hopefully a republic, I'm hoping. And all across the world, we've got Iran that's getting taken care of. Europe's getting resettled, and some things are happening over there. We got different things happening on the Chinese front. We're waging this economic to get America back to being able to compete properly. And all of this while the economy's doing good, inflation's cooling, interest rates are going down. They just did the biggest buyback of U.S. debt in, I think, forever. It was like $20 billion they paid off out of our debt, just from surpluses from our different tariffs and things that are in place. And all of these major world events that are happening, which before, under the Biden or any other president, the Iran thing would have crashed the stock market. It's almost at $50,000 right now, historic high. Inflation down, our interest rates down, our mortgage rates going down. All of this is happening while everything else is going. It's just incredible what they're able to accomplish. But here's the truth that the establishment absolutely does not want you to understand. Everything is connected. When President Trump cuts your taxes, unleashes American energy, and takes on unfair trade practices, he's not just boosting poll numbers, he's rebuilding American power from the foundation up. And the globalists spent decades howling out our industrial base, shipping jobs overseas, and telling you to accept managed decline. They said America's best days were behind us, and Obama even said we didn't build that. They were wrong. The data proves it. Fox Business calls the numbers fantastic. Inflation is cooling. Workers are keeping more of what they earn. And countries that thought they could cheat America forever are finally being held accountable. This is what America First looks like in action. And folks, this is the story the corporate media will never lead with. They're going to hunt for every negative spin, any excuse to attack President Trump, while ignoring the undeniable reality. His economic agenda is working. Working families are getting relief, and American industry is being protected, and we got a lot of jobs coming back. And the swamp creatures who profited from our decline, they're panicking. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you trust President Trump to keep delivering these economic wins while fixing the world, essentially? Let us know yes or no. And while you're thinking about that, head over to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and check out our Next News merch. Show the world you're part of the America First movement. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss when we expose the mainstream media heights. And share this video with everybody who needs to hear the truth about Trump's economic victories. Stay informed, stay free, and God bless.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this. Share this now.